Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a new The Blacklist discussion. I know it's been a minute since The Blacklist has been a topic on the channel, but it's going to be happening more and more as we gear up for the show coming back. Jess is now with me on all of these discussions, which I am really excited about because she loves this show as much as I do, and literally, we need as much debate as possible as to all of the obscure Reddington theories and the like, so I'm really psyched up about where things are going to be going from here.
I really love this show. I'm a huge James Spader fan, so I'm really excited to be part of this discussion. I can't wait.
And this video, we got a lot to get into. It's more related to, obviously, some of the big questions that I know you guys you've been asking them in comments over time. When could the show be back? When could it be filming? We'll hand down everything we know, including the premiere date, as we get into all of this. Before we do, though, if you guys do enjoy this discussion, give us a like, subscribe to that channel, hit that notification bell, support us further by checking the links to the store. You can get a shirt like this one, some other cool stuff over there, and our Patreon, where today at noon Pacific time, if you are watching this the day it's coming out, Jess and I are doing our first Sunday live chat over there. We do those the last Sunday of every month if you're interested in that.
So we have some good news finally about The Blacklist, which is that we have a premiere date. It is Friday, November 13th, Friday the 13th. It's going to be back. And it looks like it's going to start filming in September. And I know September is really sort of a broad thing to say, but with everything that's going on in the world, with the health crisis, things can move around a little bit with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great move right now for us to come on and be like, for sure, it's this one day, because then a situation comes up where if it doesn't start that one day, everyone gets upset, and I kind of understand, given that we are in the midst of a long hiatus. I mean, us Blacklist fans, we know about hiatuses. We have been left astray until January before.
Yes, we have.
We can do this, guys. It's just it's a little bit longer. I know we're all still upset in our own way about various things with the cliffhanger, but okay, let's talk about the plan here, because what is the plan? There was a panel at Comic-Con, or at Comic-Con at home, and the John Bokenkamp, John Eisendrath, they sort of went into how they're planning to just basically do, when they get back to work, what they had already written for Season 7, the end of Season 7. How they kind of framed it was, well, we're not going to just write something and then not film it. They want to be able to get this stuff on the screen.
Yeah, and I mean, that makes sense. They are already crafting a story. It stopped before the last 3 episodes were together, so of course they're going to want to come back, do those episodes. The story still needs to continue on, so it looks like we will have those 3 episodes going in.
And it's nice, and it's comforting to just sort of know that, okay, not all that much is going to change. And I know there's probably questions out there about whether or not this show is going to pick up and address stuff from the real world. I don't have an answer to all that, but we sort of know the Blacklist kind of exists within like its own weird comic book ultra reality. You've got people who are like spewing out insects from their mouths. Like, this is not typical ordinary stuff here.
No, this is a show that is extraordinary in a lot of ways, with its villains, with the way things are done, that sometimes feel a little sort of comic book hero, a little supernatural. It's not, obviously, but that's what it feels like with some of the stuff that we have going on.
So we'll get presumably the end of that Katarina arc, if there is an end to the Katarina arc, and then we'll get into whatever I guess the planned story here was. But the other big question I know a lot of people have out there is, are the changes to production substantial? And I think what I'm trying to say with that is that because of everything that Jess already spelled out with the health crisis, what's happening around the world, you can't really film the same way that you usually do. I don't know how many, Reddington being like a few inches from somebody's faces sort of confrontations we're gonna be able to get in the immediate future.
Yeah, a lot of other shows are starting back up and going to be starting back up in September, and there's going to be a lot more sort of skeleton crews, keeping things a little more as social distance as people are able to do. And because of that, they may end up having to change things around a little bit. There may be a little less on location stuff where you can't really control what's going on, to a little more location stuff where you can. Maybe scenes with a little less people in them, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to see probably more insulated, self-contained scenes. There are some New York's got some very strict rules going on
they
here.
do.
You cannot be in public right now wearing any sort of fake law enforcement uniform. And I know for the Blacklist, this is not Blue Bloods, not everybody's wearing cop uniforms all the time, but you do have, FBI badges and the like.
Yeah, so that will be something that you can't do. You can't be running around with firearms, and we've got criminals, we got cops, robbers, everybody's got that going on. So out in the streets, that's a thing, that's a no. So again, that sort of idea where stuff may be taken off of location and more so inside. Maybe we can expect more inside the warehouse shootouts and stuff like that, where it can be more contained, more hidden, and stays within the guidelines that are out in New York.
Here's the good news. Well, I don't know if I should say good news. This is kind of dark. But Raymond Reddington knows ways to kill people that do not involve firearms. So if he needs to take anybody out on the streets, maybe he'll figure out some other sort of intuitive and or terrifying way to make it work.
And that's the same thing with a lot of the blacklisters. There are some, of course, that use guns, but there are some that use bugs and other things. So, we will get other things going on. They're very creative.
The Johns they're probably creative. It's sort of like one of those sort of things where you're in like elementary school art class and the teacher's like telling you to paint whatever you want, and then you start painting something that's really weird, and then the art teacher's like, don't paint that. That's not what I meant. I feel like that happened to the Johns at some point during their lives, and that's kind of why we're at this point with the show now.
And that they're as creative as they are.
It's good for us. It's also bad for our nightmares here or there. The stew maker is still stewing in my head like so many years removed, but that's a part of this show.
And General Shiro is still in my nightmares.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way. Anybody who loves Bug. We've talked about General Shiro way too much already, man.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, that's one of the ones that really stuck with me. It was a blah.
I know. Okay, so let's get into then the idea of an episode count.
Yeah, so because they're starting as late as they are and they're not premiering until November, I don't think we're going to be seeing a full season of the 22 episodes. I would expect maybe something closer to 18 episodes, because if they do go all the way through, they're basically going to be just going from filming one whole season straight into filming another whole season, if there's another season, and then they're going to be basically filming for almost like 2 years straight.
Yeah, it's a very strict sort of timetable that these shows often have. Like, for the Blacklist, usually it's, okay, we start in July or August, we go until March or April, we have that really big chunk of time, and that allows you to be able to have all your episodes wrapped before May, or at least in the month of May. And if you're starting in September, it's probably really hard to do full 22 episode runs unless you either start filming them differently or you just take zero breaks whatsoever. But with the added restrictions, I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that has to be done so that you even can film. I don't know how it's going to be possible to move that quickly.
Yeah, the only thing I could possibly think of is if they have a lot more episodes that aren't on location and they're all sort of in just a couple of locations where they can shoot a lot more scenes a lot more quickly, because there's a lot less moving around. There's a lot less setup. There's a lot less strike down of the sets and stuff like that. But I mean, this is the Blacklist, and they do like to have it sort of feel like it's almost like it's all a big all over the world adventure a lot of the times.
It's going to be very jarring if they do 22 episodes and then we have the 5-episode arc that takes place entirely in Liz's apartment.
That's right.
We could have something weird going on like that. But, all right, so I guess the last thing to kind of get into here at this point, we'll have a lot more time to talk about the story and theories and all that, rest assured. But is this going to be the final season I had kind of thought for a while that there was a good chance season 8 would be it, and it might still be it, but the thing I'm sort of wondering here is, I don't know what discussions the Johns have had with NBC and Sony, but if they have sort of been like, okay, we need this many more episodes to tell the rest of their story, and this is such a chaotic year, doesn't really feel like the right year to end the show, because you don't really know where everything is going to go. I'm hoping that if they're kind of feeling like they're being rushed this time, that they just sort of, even if it's a short season 9, I want to see full closure. I'm not altogether certain on this being the final season at this point.
I feel that they're going to give this show the proper closure that it needs. This show is so intricate and the mysteries are so deeply woven in that this isn't a show where they can just, if they just cancel it, I mean, people are going to lose their minds. And I don't think they're going to do that. Or they just like, oh, and it's the end, wrap it up really fast. This has been such a long journey. And there's just such a deep mystery that I don't think that they're going to be able to do something like that. But never say never with stuff. We did watch, other shows that have been 7 seasons in get canceled. I just don't think that that's going to happen with this. Is James Spader led show that has been going on for a long time. I think that even if they have a shorter season 9, that they will make sure that this is tied up properly. They're not going to just end it.
Don't reveal Reddington's alter ego or whoever he really is in the last episode to give us 5 minutes of an explanation, because I will darn lose my mind on these videos.
No, I don't. They can't do that. They can't do that. Don't put that in
there. You guys do not want it. Well, you've seen enough of me on here. You do not want to see me if they just throw the most out of left field thing out there, and then it's like, oh, there's no explanation. Have a nice day. So then
or wrap it up like the castle wedding.
Yeah,
we're just gonna tack something on at the end, and all the best to you.
Yeah, like that. That's not gonna be hit. But okay, well let's ask you guys though. What do you want to see on the Blacklist season 8? Let us know all your thoughts, expectations in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further. Check the links to the store, to our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.